Two. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Inspiring Adventures with Ms. Meliz. That's me. I'm Melissa Reyes, and I'm really happy to have my special guest tonight, Joy Stevenson Laws, and she's the author of this book, Minerals, The Forgotten Nutrient, and it's your secret weapon for getting and staying healthy. Thank you for being with us tonight, Joy.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And just a point of clarification, I am a co-author actually, because I wrote the book with two doctors, medical doctors who helped tremendously. So I'm happy to have associated with them, and I learned a lot in the process.
Well, I can imagine now. I have been looking through this book, and it seems like you've gathered a lot of information and put it together, and I love that you did that. And it's really a wonderful digest of information regarding minerals and how to use them with medications and when you have certain illnesses, and very, very helpful guide. So yes, the doctors are you're going to have to help me with their names.
Okay, so Dr. Lemania Day, Dr. Pauline Jose, and Dr. Frank Lederer.
That there are three doctors now. Are they with your group, the Proactive Health Labs?
Yeah, two are.
Okay.
Okay. Dr. Jose and Dr. G. Actually,
why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Okay, so I'm an attorney by trade. Have been for the last, 32 years as a healthcare attorney. And obviously, by doing that, I learned a lot about healthcare, and also decided to get interested in the wellness aspect of healthcare. Because by representing patients in hospitals, it became clear that there were so many things that were missing in our healthcare system that weren't being remedied by the traditional sickness approach to healthcare. And that's what really got me interested in doing the book and being more proactive about my health. And
did you say the sickness approach to healthcare?
Yes.
That would seem when you're sick, you get healthcare, but proactive health would be the healthy approach to healthcare, right?
You can't help but getting sick sometimes because you run over by the truck and you're not sick, you need acute health care. So there's a place for quote unquote sickness care or emergency care, but there's also a place for wellness or being proactive health care, which is what our name is. And the whole point of that is to practice true preventive health care. That is, we don't wait to be sick. We take steps to be as healthy as we can by being aware of our nutrients, because that's what we take into our bodies. And that's what makes us healthy and well. And if we know that there are these nutrients that we need to stay healthy, then it behooves us to know as much about them as possible, and minerals being one of those critical nutrients. And that's what the book is about. We chose minerals because we hear so much about the other nutrients. Like most of us know about water, which is a nutrient. We know about vitamins. Most of us know about the vitamins A, B, C, D, E, K. And we know about carbs. We know about fats, proteins. But we seem not to have known much about minerals, and those are so critical, and they're necessary for every single bodily function for the most part. So that's why we made an effort to write the book, to create an awareness of minerals as a critical nutrient, and the fact that they're so relevant to all aspects of our lives, including when we take medications.
Well, I think that really spoke to me when I started reading it, because I take a lot of medications, being diabetic. And so I also had some chronic pain, which I've actually gotten past, and my diabetes is in control. So, but with all of those digestive issues and inflammation, I'm kind of out of whack. And I think that could be have to do with my age. So I'm going through some things that are new. And I'm very in tune with my body. And, so reading about the things that my body could be lacking was eye-opening. I thought, oh, here are some things I can try. These are, and I love that you list the foods that are high in those minerals. So it gives you, a direction to go. So what made you first think about doing, working on this book and getting together with these doctors to make this book?
So as I was getting older, there were things that I thought that I would focus on, because clearly we can get away with so much when we're younger. So as I approached my 40s and 50s, I wanted to ensure that I got through that that point in life in a balanced state, because we hear so many things that could happen to us as women as we hit our 40s or as we hit our 50s, and I was determined not to have that happen to me. So what I did, I spoke to a lot of doctors, did a bunch of research, and found out that nutritional balance really plays a key role in us remaining balanced throughout, especially our menopausal years or perimenopausal years.
Right.
And so it was somewhat self-motivated to some degree. And plus the fact that you see, in our practice, we review tons of healthcare records. And you see where patients keep going back to the hospital and nothing really happening. They take a lot of medications. And it just appeared as though that some form of education would be really important for patients if they knew how to stay healthy or how to properly take their medications, or just be aware that certain medications are going to, get rid of certain minerals or reduce the mineral content in our body or reduce certain vitamins. Or if we just knew that, then we would compensate by making sure that we eat the proper foods to put the stuff back that the medication takes away. So it's recognizing that there was a lack of education, plus my own personal experience, that I decided, you know what, let me go do some research and find out how I can make a difference both in my own life but in the lives of others.
Right. Well, thank you for doing that. Let me just go over what Joy just said. Recognizing what she needed to know in her own life and knowing that there's a lack of education based on when you start a medication, how you end up needing to take more minerals, but they don't tell you that, right? Yeah, and that's exactly what happened to me. So, I'm noticing these new they call that the side effects. You may have these side effects, and then you go back and they test you for everything to see if you're okay, and then they say, oh, now you're lacking this vitamin, so we're going to put you on this. Yeah. But they probably could have said so beforehand. They have the research.
Yes. So the medication play a critical role, but the issue is they all come with side effects, and if we know ahead of time what the side effects are, then we can address that proactively, as opposed to waiting for the side effects to occur, or the dizziness, or the fainting, or the exhaustion, or the hunger, or whatever it is. If we knew that ahead of time.
Wait, I didn't say that. But that's been a really tough one, because I never had that problem before. I didn't realize that sugar really aided in that. But when I cut out sugar from my diet, which helped me with the pain and helped me with the diabetes, these are the problems I'm having now. Yes. And the doctor says, oh, well, now you have to take fiber.
Right. Obviously, you're taking some form of probiotics, right? Because, for example,
probiotics. Yes.
Medications and like antibiotics, kills the good bacteria as well as the bad in some cases. So you need to put the good bacteria back. So there's so many things that I learned in this process to educate myself, which I didn't know as a young adult. So, and I figure if I knew those things as a young adult, many of the issues that I had, going through, my life, I probably would have felt a lot better. I wouldn't be as tired. I wouldn't be as bloated. things like that. If I knew those things. So the whole point is to educate our kids or family members, educate others, educate our employees so that they can be better employees.
Yes.
It's so critical because if we don't know, then we will make those lifestyle changes that will make us feel better and be more productive.
Yes, be better and more productive and happier. Because a lot of times I think that our mood is based on how we're feeling. Our gut is unhappy and in icky feeling. So naturally we're going to not be nice. And then we pass that to the next person. And that's the kick the dog theory. Have you ever heard of that? No?
I got 4 dogs. I can relate.
Okay, I don't even have a dog, but it's that theory where you say, you're in a bad mood, you got in a fight with your spouse, then you go outside and you scuff up the car, you come home, you kick the dog, whatever. It's all because because you're constipated to begin with, So I just think being in tune with our bodies is so important. And when I first heard about your book, I was interested in it right away. And I love that, what I love about you, and I was looking forward to meeting you, Joy, is that you, and Proactive really describes it from beginning to end, but you didn't have to do any of this. You're an attorney. What a great life. You studied, you did everything right. You had a great career, a healthcare attorney, good job, great career, helping people anyway. Yet you took another step. And I find that inspiring. You did, and that you lead people and you do wonderful things for our city and for our community and for people. And then let's write a book now and help more people. And all the proceeds go to a foundation for is it internal?
Yeah, for bowel cancer and the Proactive Labs, which is also a nonprofit organization.
Okay, say that again because I'm not hearing that clearly. Where does it go?
The proceeds go to the Billy Project, which is about
the Billy Project.
Yeah, it's an organization that helps people with bowel cancer, and also the Proactive Health Labs, which is also a nonprofit organization, public nonprofit organization.
Proactive Lab, Health Labs.
Yeah, Proactive
is a nonprofit public organization.
Yeah.
And so all of this you built with your partners, your husband and your other attorneys in your practice, right?
Yes.
Okay. See, so it's been a while actually because we did postpone. So I'm accessing files that have been laying around for a while, but I was very intrigued with that. So what inspired you to do this extra homework?
Well, it's pretty easy. We all live in this universe together, and it's not just about making money or doing things for ourselves. I mean, you have to do things that benefit others as well. And to the extent that, and I guess it could be also purely selfish because, for example, in my own work, in my own office, I mean, the healthier my employees are, the better I'll do.
Right.
The better they will do. So I guess in a sense, there's a selfish motive as well, right? Because I would like them all to be healthy so that they could come to work on time, do a good job, and go home and enjoy a healthy life. So it's just...
You're not giving them a gym membership.
Yes, we do. We give them memberships here. We have personal trainers. We have good water. We have yoga. We encourage them to just see work as a means to an end, get your work done and get out and enjoy your life because it can't be all about work. So it's really important for us, if we're living here on this planet, to do those things that not only benefit us, but benefit the people around us. And I think the more educated people are, the better they'll take care of themselves. There are lots of things that I did not know growing up that I wish I knew. And so I'm sure that issue, resides with many other people. And so the whole purpose was just to provide education, primarily to provide education. If you know how important nutrients are, then you will make the effort to find out whether or not, as a person, you're consuming the right amounts in your body. And if you're not, then let me tell you what foods you can get them from. And if you can't get them from foods because for whatever reason, well, here's how you can get them from supplements. And here are the upsides and the downsides to certain supplements. And, it's just about knowing the importance of probiotics, the importance of, if you always take antibiotics, you got to know at some point that you got to put the other stuff back that the antibiotics took away. So it's just about knowing, educating yourself so that you can ask intelligent questions when you go to the doctor. You can have an intelligent discussion with your doctor so that you can benefit from that doctor's visit. So that's what Proactive Health Labs is about. And we try and provide content on our website at phlabs.org so that, anyone can get on the site and learn as much as possible about how to lead a healthy life. So
that's phlabs.org. Is there a underscore with that?
No, phlabs.org.
So you can get information at phlabs.org about what we're talking about.
Correct. Just go to the health information page.
And you can also get this book there. And the part of the proceeds go to, I'm going to type this in too. Let's see. I think it's in this book. I have it in here.
The entire proceeds go to the charities, actually. 100% of the proceeds go to the phlabs.org as well as the Billy Project Foundation.
Billy Project Foundation. That's what I was really interested in. Tell me about that. That's for diseases of the digestive system?
Yes, so that's about bile duct cancer, which...
Bile duct cancer.
Yeah, bile duct cancer. It's a rare cancer and it's happening more. More people are having this cancer now, but it's a rare cancer that took the life of my partner, one of my partners. So, because we never heard of it before, until he had the cancer, we took the time to go learn about it and partnered with UCSF.
Who had the cancer?
My partner, Vincent.
One of the partners in your firm?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. So
okay. Can you hear me?
That makes sense now, the connection of why. Okay. Sorry.
Right. So we partnered with UCSF, and we are looking we have specimens where we are looking to find, early detection for that cancer, because for many people, once the diagnosis has been made, it's generally too late. And the early indicators are non-specific, so it's tough to find out when you actually have the cancer so that you can be proactive about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's, I can imagine you go through a lot of heartache in your field. And so it takes a strong person and a very caring person to do what you do. So I believe that you're giving back in a lot of ways. And that's wonderful. Tell me about some of the things that the organization has done here in Los Angeles or around the world.
Sure. And we have 2 health centers here in California. We have one in Santa Monica and one in Sherman Oaks. And that's where we have outreach to the community. We provide written information as well as provide lab testing, nutritional testing for individuals so that they can determine whether or not they're low in a particular nutrient. We also provide that testing nationwide because we work with labs that are specialized and will go wherever you are to get the test, to have the testing done. And the important thing about the testing is that we recommend that you really not guess about your nutrient levels or what's going on with your body. It's important to test and not guess.
Test and not guess. That's a good tip.
So, for example, if you may be low in vitamin D, you may suspect you're low in vitamin D, but rather than going out and just getting some vitamin D because you feel you might be low, it's better to test because too much of anything is just as bad as too little. And same thing with minerals. Too much calcium can be bad. potassium can be bad, just as too little. So the issue is not whether or not you have too little, it's whether or not you have your imbalance. And that's, there's a critical distinction there. And so that's how we provide help to our communities. We also go around to various businesses and talk to the employees. We've gone to many lunches, employee lunches, and provided, talks about how you can lead a healthy life. We try to present it in a way where it's simple and easy to understand and fun. So those are some of the things that we have done with PH, or Proactive Health Labs, to ensure that both the employer community or the employee community benefits from what we're doing, and as well as the general community. In terms of the Billy Project, we have made huge strides in that area. We're working with many health centers now to have better awareness of what bile duct cancer is, and have tissue samples where they determine how best or how better to detect that cancer early, so that people don't wait until the last minute to be diagnosed.
That's really, really wonderful. I'm so happy to have learned about this, and thank you for sharing that. Was there, that's so much to take in. And while you're talking, I'm going and trying to share this out and see if there's any questions. And I wanted to just flip through here and see, what stands out? What is the one thing that most people are surprised to find out, as far as what minerals you wrote about in this book, what you shared? What is the most surprising finding?
That's a good question, too. I think the biggest thing that people, or the one thing that stands out, is that there are more minerals than just calcium or iron that you hear about, because those are the ones that are frequently tested. Typically, when you get a physical, you probably get tested for sodium, potassium, calcium, and sometimes iron if you're a woman. And there's so many others that are critical, and that's one of the reasons why we chose to write the book. You have others that you need to know about and ensure that you're getting them from the foods you eat, or if not, supplement with them appropriately. So, like magnesium, that's a very important mineral. Magnesium is needed for almost every bodily reaction, and low magnesium levels have been associated with depression. It also helps to ease pain. Many athletes, when they work out, they will soak in Epsom salt to soothe the pain. The Epsom salt has magnesium in it, so that's why they use it, and it absorbs through the skin. So there are other minerals like chromium. You said you were diabetic at one point. I'm not sure. And so that's a mineral that's relevant for diabetes. So there's so many other minerals out there. It somewhat behooves us to be aware of them and not just focus on the ones that we always hear about, because we need to know them and know what they're for.
And for me, it was right. I guess copper is popular. You think of putting copper on, but there's copper in foods as well. Little surprises like that kind of popped out at me. Right. And then, of course, the question that a friend of mine asked me to find out from you was about the Himalayan salt. Was there value in that? Did that come up in your research?
Yeah, I have had the discussion before. Himalayan salt, apparently, I have discussion before with others. There apparently is a difference between traditional table salt that you get in the store that's infused with iodine, but because it primarily has sodium chloride and iodine, that's what it contains. Himalayan salt apparently has additional minerals, in addition to sodium chloride. So it has more minerals. I think it has probably over 50 minerals or additional minerals. I can't, but it has way more minerals than regular salt. To the extent that it has more minerals, it may be beneficial for your health.
So, that makes sense. But then, is there a cautionary, a but coming from there?
Of course. And like with everything, you need to know what your body needs before you go ahead and start just using salt or using whatever it is. If you know you're low in salt, then perhaps you need to work with your doctor to increase your salt intake or your sodium intake. However, if you have enough or you have too much sodium, then you may not want to use it because you're going to have the effects of having too much, salt or too much sodium. So it's really important to know what's going on with you yourself, as opposed to just think that I'm just going to do this because a friend told me to do it. It's really important to test.
And it goes back to that proactive thing. So you were saying, can you come to your the Proactive Health Labs to get tested to see where your minerals? Mm-hmm. So anybody can come in and do that?
Anybody can come in and do that, yes. Or the labs can go to you.
Wow.
Yeah. Anybody can get tested.
That's really interesting, because I had this question. I don't, this just, one of these nagging feelings I have is that it seems to me like a lot of people are getting tested at the doctor when they go for their annual exam, and they're finding out that they're low in vitamin D. And it seems like a lot of people, not suddenly, but over the last year or so, are finding out they're low in vitamin D. My best friend lives in New Hampshire, and when she found out that I had been told that I was low in vitamin D, she was like, "What? You live in California? I can understand. I am in New Hampshire, indoors a lot, but you're in California. You have a convertible. Why are you?" And I said, "I don't know, but I have this theory that maybe the pharmaceutical companies are selling more vitamin D in prescription, and that's why there's a test." Is there any truth, do you think, to that?
No. The truth is that you need to get tested to determine what you're deficient in. And there's a range within which you must fall in order to be determined high or low in any given nutrient, or like vitamins or minerals. So if you're tested and you fall within that range, then a doctor will determine what to do based on the results. You can get tested for vitamin C, and most people don't even realize that, but you do. For example, in my case, I need more vitamin C than most people because I have a defective gene that doesn't process vitamin C very well. So, but I would not have known that without testing and seeing that my vitamin C levels were consistently low, despite the fact that I eat tons of fruits and vegetables. Mm-hmm. So I have to take a supplement to make up for that deficiency. So these are things that we need to know, because if we don't process vitamin C very well, then that could affect our immune system. And we may not heal very well from, any kind of injuries that we might have, or we might have other issues related to low vitamin C. So testing is really critical. It may very well be that you're not getting out in the sun as much as you think you are, or during the proper time of day when you can get the optimal, use of the sun. So those are little things. I was low on vitamin D at some point, because there are times when I just don't do as much as I would like to do outdoors.
I think that's the thing, or it's not as much as you think you are. It's just because it's sunny outside doesn't mean I am outside.
I know for sure that in my case, I don't like to go out in the sun. So it's something that I've had to force myself to do.
And I think that the truth is, or a combination of not spending as much time outside, my kids getting older, so I'm not outside watching their football games, things like that. I'm, just doing my own thing, which is indoors. And then not drinking as much milk that would be fortified with vitamin D, just lifestyle changes.
Yes. And but being aware of it, and you're aware of it, so you're doing something about it. But, as long as we know what the likelihood of, or action, the consequences are, then we'll do something about it. But if we don't know, for example, if you didn't know that low vitamin D, it's not good to have low vitamin D, you probably wouldn't care.
Right. No, exactly. And so, but why wouldn't they test for magnesium or potassium, which maybe they do. Potassium, I guess they do. But it seems like there's so many other things based on, but you have to ask. You can
Yes.
ask for those
Yes.
tests.
Yes. You can definitely ask for magnesium testing. You can definitely ask for, phosphorus testing. You can ask if you know what you need. You can ask.
Well, I just love that this is the book is set up, everybody, into categories like minerals and anxiety, minerals and digestion. And it's broken up with charts too, and easy to read things that, how much calcium is in things, So it's a great little guide. I think everybody should have this. And thank you so much for writing it. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh, sure. What have your experiences been before? What had your experiences been before reading the book with minerals?
What had been my experiences? I can tell you that recently, in the last maybe 5 or 6 years, I have discovered that I'll use the brand Zicam because I'm a blogger and I like to promote the brands. But if I notice I'm getting sick, I'll use the zinc. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that has made a big difference. I don't get colds as often, and I work with young middle school age children and have a lot of contact, and I'm a hugger. And so that, that's one that has improved my health. And so that could be one. And then just interestingly enough, and this I have to say really this is since I was looking at the book, but triggered some memories of experiences before. And that was growing up and talking about being in tune with your body. I remember my aunt telling me that she needed to have more potassium, or that my mom would say that she needed to have magnesium, and, different things that they knew about. And then for some reason kind of got lost in the process as I was raising my kids, and that they, weren't, with us anymore. And my doctor hasn't mentioned those things. And then nowadays, not to put a damper on these things, I think it's great to get a health shake or to get, a supplement. That's where our lifestyle is at. But I like knowing what it's about, and I like to be able to get that from foods and a balanced meal. So this has been really exciting for me.
Right. No, it's good. You really made a very good point there about zinc, because you are so correct. It's one of those minerals that's critical for immunity, but many people don't necessarily associate zinc with immunity. And they associate vitamin C with, preventing you from getting colds or whatever it is, but they never really, associated with zinc. And so it's really, really good to know what they are and what these minerals do and where you can find them in foods, because obviously if you can get them in foods, that's the best place to get them.
So where would you get zinc in food?
Let's see. I think zinc is from certain fish.
Fish.
Yeah, I think zinc. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember which fish. Oysters.
Right. I did think that. I don't eat. Well, let's see. I just loved that. And there's also a danger of having too many minerals. And I've heard that. Somebody told me that she had a almost allergic reaction where it was called heavy metals.
Yes.
Yeah. So, there's a danger of having people doing cleanses and using, mixes and stuff. And so we have to really be cautious. You can't just go overboard with these things.
Right. And remember, there are good minerals and there are bad minerals. So you have like mercury, which you don't want to have too much of. You don't want to have any of, or fish. And you can get that from eating large fish like tuna and salmon. So that too requires some testing, because if you eat a lot of fish, when you pop or you have some kind of a filling, dental filling, it may very well be that you have too much mercury. And the bad thing with mercury is it affects the levels of your good minerals, because it takes up the space that the good minerals need to take. So you can test for that to see if your mercury level is extremely high or is high or it's not optimal, and then do something about it to reduce the level. And obviously you have lead. You probably heard about the lead poisoning.
Right.
So it's not only testing for, the good minerals, you probably want to also test for the bad ones too.
Well, that, it's very fascinating. And so, it's not a medical journal. It's not huge. It's not over, too much to understand or anything like that. It's very succinct. And I think, it also just makes you think. Maybe even if it just made you ask your doctor for a test or, made you look at some ingredient list when you buy some food. I think that's really, I'm sure helped a lot of people. So it definitely helped me inspired and very inspired. So what's next for you?
Okay, so my goal is to educate as many people as I can. Actually, and that's my immediate goal. I will write another book, perhaps next year or the end of this year. But in the meantime, I think it's really important to make the information as simple as possible so that it's easily understandable. Because in my case, I don't like medical leads. I think the information needs to be broken down so that the average person can understand it and then make it a part of their lives. They can utilize that information and not think that somebody's trying to feed them medical facts. The information about nutrition is so critical because obesity is on the rise, and it's currently 1 in 3 people in the U.S. that are obese. And it creates a lot of healthcare problems, and for both the patient and also for the healthcare industry in general. So and a lot of that has to do with a lack of proper nutrition. So to the extent that we can educate ourselves so that we don't get there in the first place, then I think it will help everyone. It will help our country. It will help everyone. So it helps employers. It helps the society. So that's kind of where my focus is. We want to make sure that everybody is nutrient aware, understand why nutrients are important, if the stuff we take in to survive and when we don't take in enough, or if there are problems with our bodies that prevent us from absorbing the nutrients, then we need to find out and fix the problem, find the cause, as opposed to treat the symptom.
There you go. Be nutrient aware. Get educated, and that's your mission, to educate people about nutrients. And thank you so much for doing that. When you were a little girl, what did you want to do when you grew up?
Oh, that's interesting. You would ask. Yeah, I was until my 4th year of college. I was supposed to be a doctor.
Wait, until what? When you're how old?
Until my 4th year of college, I was pre-med.
Until then.
Until then, and I decided I didn't like it anymore.
So you always wanted to be a doctor, so you kind of still are.
So my brother is a cardiologist, and I always, I looked up to him, and I patterned what he did. And my mom said, "Okay, you're going to be a doctor just like your brother." And I decided when I was in my 4th year that was not for me, but I promised her that I would do something in healthcare. So I became a healthcare attorney, and by doing that, I got educated in so many things, and including preventive care. And so that's been my experience. My entire life has been around healthcare.
Oh, so that's been your entire life. So, I think that's wonderful because you reached for so you aimed for something high and you went for it, but you went a little side trip. And that's okay, because that was your way of doing, and fulfilling your promise. Well, thank you so much for sharing your inspiring adventure with me and for being here with us on Bubbler Media. And I look forward to seeing you when you finish your next book. Okay. And hopefully we'll see you again on Bubbler Media. So
thank you. And it's been great talking to you. I love hearing your experiences and lots of good luck on your show.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, have a good evening, everybody. This has been a wonderful time here on Bubbler Media with Joy Stevenson Laws. And check it out. Minerals. Gotta have them. Okay. Well, good night. I'm just gonna say, click on end, and we'll be off. So it was nice meeting you. Thank you.
Nice meeting you too. Thanks a lot. Have a great evening.
Bye bye.